You missed us, didn't you? Yeah, you did. Welcome to a brand new season of Taxology, the official podcast from your favorite, the Canada Revenue Agency. Thanks for listening last season and get ready for the hottest topics in taxes coming your way. We're here to help you get started, know more, and make you less terrified of your taxes, and hopefully get some benefits along the way. I'm your host, Cece, and on today's episode... Oh, sorry. Let me just take this call. Hello?
This is the Canada Revenue Agency. We are pleased to tell you that you are owed $3,456 in tax refunds.
I'm getting a refund? That's awesome.
To claim your refund, please press 1 and have your banking information and social insurance number ready to give to our agent.
Wait, you need my banking information and my social insurance number? That's weird. I work at the CRA too, and this seems different to me. What section are you in? Yeah, nice try, scammer. On this two-part episode, we'll be talking about all things scams. We're going to chat with some experts about the top scams and what you can do about them. We'll share tips for taxpayers to protect themselves, ways the CRA will legitimately contact you, and some new ways the CRA is using to help you be more informed about scams. So buckle up, get your snacks, and get ready for a great episode. And we promise, all information shared today is factual. We're not going to scam you. Scams don't only involve the CRA. Across the government, we're all working to protect taxpayers from scams. So for this episode, we invited our colleague from the Canadian Anti-Fraud Centre to chat with us about fraud prevention and how you can protect yourself from being a victim. So without further ado, let's give a warm welcome to Nancy, joining us remotely. Hi, Nancy. How are you doing today?
Good, thank you. How are you?
I am great. Tell me about your work at the Canadian Anti-Fraud Centre. Like, what do you do?
So right now I'm the acting client communications outreach officer. And basically that entails fraud presentations, awareness, doing presentations to law enforcement, to the public, to, doing podcasts as we're doing today, and just reaching out and spreading awareness about fraud.
What's something that you can tell us about work?
I can tell you that fraud has definitely gotten, it's increased. It's definitely taken off since COVID. Since 2020, people have turned more so to online for either, shopping, having their groceries delivered, any purchases, and communicating because we had lockdowns. So it's really taken a turn. And I would say that it increased by over 300% since 2020.
Whoa. And that's just what people are reporting.
To the CAFC, correct. Fraud is underreported. We only receive 5 to 10% of the reports. So, when you're looking at $500 million in losses, it's a drop in the bucket. 5 to 10% is a drop in the bucket.
Wow. Because I definitely get a lot of texts that I don't report. But you're right. Definitely they've been coming out more and more over the last few years.
Yes.
What's your favorite thing about working at the CAFC?
Oh, I love it all. I love my work. I am very passionate about what I do. I love helping victims of fraud. I like whether, and it's not necessarily a success story in the sense that you're getting their money back, because we all know that those stories are far and few in between. It's more so, having the conversations and a lot of times just helping them through it and educating them and helping them not fall for any other scams.
Yeah, that must be so hard to hear these stories firsthand.
Mm-hmm. It is. It really is.
So I get texts all the time on my phone saying that they're from the CRA, I'm going to get arrested. How can I tell the difference between real communications from the CRA and a scam?
First of all, the CRA will never text you unless it's two-factor authentication, correct?
Yeah.
So that's number one. They will never send you a refund. through e-transfer. And if in doubt, look up the CRA number yourself and be certain that it is the CRA number, the correct one. And there are ways you can find out. I mean, it's so funny because I'm going to quote my dad here, who's 87 years old. And um, even prior to me working at the CAFC, he would say, if they really want to get a hold of me, they'll send me a letter. So, and it's so true, right? If the CRA wants to reach me, they will send me a letter and they will ask me in that letter to contact them. So, yeah, I do not trust any text messages that ask you to click on a link and confirm personal information. That's another thing the CRA wouldn't ask. So, yeah, there's many ways that you can protect yourself, but the best way is to verify, verify, verify. Always verify the information yourself, and local law enforcement is there to help you. We have our website, which is a fountain of information. All the scams are listed on our website from A to Z. So um, if you want to look at phishing scams, the CRA scam is on there, and we've listed all the different ways to protect yourself. And yeah, there's so many things in place. You just need to know where this information is, and that's what we're here today doing.
So if I have these scams and I want to report them, how do I do that?
So basically, we have an online reporting system. So you can certainly go to our website, and very easy to use. Our system is very user friendly. So you would report your attempted scam or your scam. So whether you're a victim or not, it's very important to report it, for the reason that you will have the link, you will have information that is vital, so that if there's an investigation, the CAFC is the central repository for data when it comes to fraud. So we assist law enforcement on investigations. So they will ask us, do you have information on this? And if we do, we share it. So if you share the link, you could be assisting and you could be helping solve a crime, right? So very important to report. So online reporting system, we have a 1-800 number that you can call. It's much easier to report online because, of course, we don't have numerous fraud call takers. So online is quick and easy, and it's the best way to do it. And of course, always report to your local law enforcement so that they know what is happening in their jurisdiction.
Cool. What happens to my report after I submit it? Like, what do you guys do?
So what we do is we have a disruption program in place where we've developed numerous partnerships with government entities as well as the private sector. And if there's a fraudulent telephone number contacting people and scamming them, we report the telephone number to the appropriate provider, and we ask them to shut the phone number down so that it no longer victimizes people.
When it comes to scams, what are the biggest red flags?
Uh, Someone wanting an immediate response. So basically, they always create a sense of urgency. Answer me now. I want it now. So it's very important to question that whenever somebody is pressuring you. Just stop. You need to stop and think about what you're doing. If somebody asks you for personal information over the telephone or, over email, always question that as well, unless you're expecting a message from somebody, and they tell you ahead of time, say it's your financial institution or whoever. I'll be sending you, an email or a message asking to confirm these, certain things. Then that's fine because you know who's contacting you. But when it's an unsolicited message asking you to confirm personal information, don't do it. Always verify, the source where it's coming from, and don't respond, don't click on links. Threatening and aggressive language sometimes. I mean, we have those extortion scams, the CRA extortion scams. We're going to come to your door and arrest you. And, we live in Canada. We live in Canada. This doesn't happen in Canada. So, you know, take it take a step back and breathe, right? No one's coming to your door to arrest you unless you've done something really, really bad. So, there's messaging apps that are more encrypted than others. And so the fraudsters tend to use those. So that raises a flag if they don't want to communicate with you over telephone call or in person, or via text message, just normal, like give you their number and everything, their location, then that's a flag as well. So, that they're hiding something. So that's another one to look out for.
I've heard about gift cards, people saying like you need to pay us back by gift cards. I don't know how the government of Canada would accept gift cards from some retail store.
Or crypto. Crypto's another one. It's a
Yeah.
huge one. It's one of the one that's the hardest to to. There's a lot of tracing that has to happen for wallets. So the government will not ask you to pay your taxes via Bitcoin or putting cash in a Bitcoin machine or um, so there's crypto investment scams. I know we're veering off the phishing scam a bit here, but there's one of the number one top reported frauds to the Canadian Anti-Fraud Center, other than phishing scams. Report wise, phishing is number one, but we do have investment scams that comes, after that, and the losses are astronomical. Like they were over $300 million last year.
Oh my gosh.
And yeah, so they represent a large portion of our losses. Now, that's not all crypto. I mean, there's investment scams that involve, wire transfers and stuff like that. But crypto is a good portion of it. And so they will ask you to invest in cryptocurrency, and they promise high returns. And people are sending sometimes their entire life savings to someone they just met online and is promising them to make a large amount of money overnight. And, you know, if something sounds too good to be true, it's too good to be true. This doesn't happen. We work so hard for our money. Why part with it so easily and not question where we're sending our money, who we're talking to, who's getting this money? I feel that, we need to stop and we need to start questioning. We work hard, and to part with it so easily is just, yeah, these fraudsters are very, very convincing and very good at what they do.
Tell me how does a phishing scam work?
So phishing is either by email or you can get a text message. And basically, you'll receive a message that's either impersonating a financial institution saying you've been locked out of your account and to confirm your information in order to gain access back to your account. That's one of them. There's the CRA, of course, where they send, collect your benefits or your tax return. There's always, click on a link and deposit your money. The CRA does not communicate with people that way, and they don't do refunds via online transfers. So there's those types of phishing scams. My gosh, there's so many. Um, I get them all the time, and honestly, I see a link now and I delete it. I don't even look at it. I don't even take the time and look at it because there's so many. But if you're getting a text message, whether from Doesn't matter if it's your telephone provider offering you a better deal. Click on the link. Don't do it. Um, Never click on unsolicited links. Never. Rule of thumb. And honestly, I've probably deleted some legitimate messages, but it's better to be safe than sorry. It really is.
What's something you want every Canadian to know about scams?
If there's anything to say about scams, and I'm gonna do scams in general, is that the people behind it, like it's organized crime at the end of the day, and these people really don't have any empathy or anything, obviously, and all they want is your money. And at the end of the day, they will do anything, and I mean anything, to get their hands on your money. One of the worst ones that really affects me, actually, there's different types of scams that are worse than others, of course. I'm going to say romance scams are heart wrenching.
What's a romance scam?
Romance scams basically, so people go online looking for a relationship to find their forever person, right? So they will meet somebody online, and the fraudster will chat them up and will basically gain their trust and their affection very quickly. You will see some I love yous very quickly. And a person who is lonely and who is craving that will fall hard. And they will always say, okay, we're going to meet, here's my plane ticket, whatever. Most of the time they're not in your area. They're either somewhere in another country, or one of the famous ones is somebody in the military that is serving. They're doing their last tour, they're coming home to retire, and they can't wait to be with somebody. And so yeah, that's another one that we see. But they create a sense of urgency to get money. They either lost their wallet at the airport, they create an emergency, they need money, and so victims will start sending money. And next thing you know, they're in the hospital. There's medical bills. They don't have access to their account. There's all kinds of different reasons to send money, and these victims sometimes lose hundreds of thousands of dollars just to lose contact with that person. When there's no money left, the fraudster will stop communicating, and they are left with an empty bank account and a broken heart. So it's very heart wrenching. Mm-hmm.
That's terrible. I bet some of them might take savings out of their like TFSAs or RSPs too. So I bet there are tax implications after being scammed as well.
Yeah.
Do you have any tips and tricks like, from the CAFC for Canadians who want to avoid being scammed?
So basically, you can use, you know, password managers are great, and unique passwords are great as well. Definitely, if you keep using unique passwords, changing your passwords often, that can definitely help in protecting yourself. There's tons of resources out there. There's, our website is a fountain of information. I keep saying it. I absolutely love our website because our scams are listed from A to Z, and so easy to find. And if the scam is not there, don't hesitate to contact us and reach out to us. There's a 1-800 number, and you can talk to one of our fraud specialists. If in doubt, and you can't get a hold of us, reach out to law enforcement. They have all this information. They'll point you in the right direction. I would say that the best way to protect yourself is to take a step back every time someone is asking you for something, whether, money, personal information. If there's a sense of urgency for anything, take a step back. Nothing is that urgent today that you have to act that quickly. We get a lot of calls from victims of the grandparent scams. So these are all seniors who have received phone calls, and they believe that it's their grandson, granddaughter, or family member that is in trouble. And the fraudsters will pretend to be lawyers and the RCMP, of course, or law enforcement, and they will create that sense of urgency and ask them to send cash in the courier. And again, my dad's 87 years old, and my dad would probably want to help my son or help, anyone else in my family. So he probably would fall for it because, a lot of the times they catch you off guard and they create that fear. And we've had a lot of seniors put cash in the courier and send it to the fraudsters so that they could pay bail for their grandkids or their family members. So nothing is that urgent today that you have to drain your bank account or take out large amounts of money out of your bank account and send that money. Again, question, this is your money. You've worked hard for it, and verify information. There's nothing wrong with asking questions. You're allowed to ask questions. If you're sending that much money, you're allowed to ask questions.
Good point. I'm just picturing my grandfather trying to help me out if I got into trouble. And I'm pretty sure he would just call my parents yelling at them. So it would be like, they would not fall for it out of spite. You can tell that you're passionate about your job. That's awesome.
I love my work. I really do. I love my job. And I've said this so many times. You know, a lot of times it's 4 o'clock and I don't even notice the time and I'm working away. And next thing you know, I'm like, oh my gosh, but I get really wrapped up into it. I'm very passionate about it and I'm very grateful for it. It's very rewarding. I feel so accomplished at the end of the day and sometimes stressed out because I feel like I haven't done enough and I could have done more. So that's the two sides of working for the CAFC. But at the end of the day, it is super rewarding. I really, really enjoy my work.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Well, thanks for joining us, Nancy. I really appreciate everything that you've told us today.
My pleasure. My pleasure.
And that's a wrap on part 1. A big thank you to Nancy for joining us on today's show, and we hope that now you know more about protecting yourself and your family members from scams. If you'd like to learn more to protect yourself from scams, go to canada.ca/taxes fraud prevention or check us out on Facebook, X, or Instagram at CanRev Agency. On top of helping taxpayers understand the risks of scams, the CRA also puts significant effort into fighting fraud and continually takes steps to safeguard your sensitive information against these ever-evolving threats. Go to canada.ca/taxes security to learn about our security measures to protect your info, and stay tuned for part 2, where we'll explore more on this subject with CRA experts. Thanks for listening. Until next time, stay safe and do your taxes.